Okay. Hello? Oh. Okay. Okay, let's see where we're at here. It always sets my category to entertainment, even though in OBS I have it set otherwise. That's super annoying. That's super annoying. And then the chat is broken. I'm gonna find a bug for that. Like, it's kind of like the point where it's like, bro, SE Live, I will work for free and write this functionality in there. I will do it. I will. Okay, I think we're all set though. I close the fucking chat if it's not gonna like me. You were, yeah, it's like completely broken. Oh man. Hello, welcome. Okay, get started. So what was I doing? What was I doing yesterday? We were doing some stage 3 stuff yesterday. Fixing that up. I wanted to change gears. I'm trying to fix... I'm trying to fix here the trunk surface sampler point generation. It's taking a long time, and it's happening on the game thread, which I don't want. So I'm going to try and like parallelize it and multi-thread it. But PCG is quite finicky. If I'm being quite honest. Yeah, and it's not even generating properly. Interesting. Let me run that back. I want to see what thread we're running on it. What you play? I do game dev. So it's the game I'm working on in Unreal Engine. Okay. Let me take a look at that trace here. Yeah. We're still probably hitting the game thread here. It does seem better. A lot better than we usually do. Is it actually running on the background thread now? Nice. Yeah, where is the... Now it's just the spawner. How long does it take to spawn static mesh instances? Half a millisecond? That is kind of long. Are none of these from my... Here, let me just look it up. What is our thingy? We call it... What do we call it? There we go. Okay, so it's running off of game thread now. Oh, okay. Perfect. Well, now it's running perfectly. Now that's running perfectly. It's still not, not spawning things correctly, though. It's taking quite a while. It is taking quite a while. Is it actually parallel foring? Yeah, we're putting it on every thread, almost. Oh, the vertex generator, though. Jesus Christ, look at these bars. 400 milliseconds for vertex data. Yikes. A yikes. Okay, maybe I should go back to parallelizing all of it. I am doing it in 2 steps at the moment, but if it's automatically going to run off of the game, then I don't need to worry about that so much, do I? And then I guess all I need to fix here, I guess I'm working on PCG stuff today. PCG runtime execution stuff. I guess that's what I'm doing today. Because the spawner could use a little bit of TLC as well. Yeah, I guess that's my biggest issue now. Okay, let me see here. So let's go back and yeah, what did I fuck up here? I want to take this now. Plug it in there. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, we're gonna need to change a lot again. Maybe I think I can maybe just undo. Let's just undo. We're gonna spam undo and hope that I have enough undos. I mean, maybe just doing local history is better at this point. Local history. What are we looking like here? Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Good morning. So this is the non-parallelized. Oh no, we parallel it after that. Okay, so what was the first thing I did today? So I should be looking at the left side. Yeah, it was in async. It was in an async tag, which I think we could just get rid of. All right, let me see. This is hard to read. I'll be quite honest with you. Yeah, I want the one where I didn't have an async task, or I didn't have it split in twain. Okay, yeah, fuck this. We're just gonna spam Control Z a little bit more. Oh, that's as far back as we got. Oh god, okay. Okay, we're gonna manually do it then. Okay, back to normal. Yeah, we're putting it all in one parallel for now, and then I need to like pass all this stuff back. This was the part I didn't want. Don't copy vertices or indices. Query params. Is now vertices.num. I'm gonna do index here. Int 32i equals index times 3. Let me see here. New points, reserve. What am I doing here? I guess the problem with this is that the... I'll have to like append all of the data together at the end. That's kind of the annoying part. So I have to do the parallel for context. Ask context, yeah. With ask context, which is a T array of T array. New points. And new points goes in here, question mark. Undo, what was that? Why or oh, this guy. Okay, yeah. Context num, yeah. Then we gotta pass in a ref points or whatever. Query params. Pass that in as well. Seed probably too. Seed. And change these to no longer chunk scale. Oh, hello, Mart. Welcome in. Good morning. New point. It's a T array, so we don't want new points here. Context. I hope this can be passed in. I feel like it should be. Array material type attributes. Oh my goodness. Let me see here. Am I busy? Like right now? I'm just writing some code. New points. So we just want new point here. World space point. I think we already have that too, so. Wait. Oh yeah, and then we need to put this inside. There we go. There we are. Good morning. One more question on the damage. Did you get around being constrained by the bounds volume? Do you have one volume you move around, or multiple volumes, or something else? It's just one giant volume. It's just one giant volume the size of my world. I think I remember looking into trying to have multiple volumes at one point, and it's just like not how the it's just not how it works. It doesn't work with multiple volumes from what I remember. Oh yeah, I have to like construct the things here. Point array. End point array. Can I move temp here? Did you miss me? Oh, so much. Oh yes, so much. Quick testing. Making one volume really big was lagging bad, but operated faster as smaller bounds. What part was running slow? It might be your navigation invokers, because that's what I noticed. Okay, is that, are we good here? Does that compile? Well, let me run this. Let's run this. I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to try the 3x3 grid approach, similar to shuffling chunks around from a center point so that you're never inside a volume that moves. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying there. I'm going to try the 3x3 grid approach. Yeah, I'm not familiar. If that's a standard approach or something, I'm not familiar with it. Run it. Oh, there's our points. Some of them. Yeah, we're missing some. Yeah, we're missing some. I want a quick trace on that. The single invoker approach on the character only, which activates all other AI actors automatically on the player, is working well so far. Yeah, I think if you use invokers, you definitely want to keep that numbers. From what I've seen. Okay, let's look at some of these spiky boys. Let me find the timers here. That's not the timer. That's not the timer. This is it. I want to see this guy. Give me the first one. Okay, we got a lot. 15 MS. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's faster or anything, but it feels cleaner. It feels cleaner. And most importantly, it's just not blocking the game thread. That's the most important part. But now I guess we need to take care of the static mesh spawner. Let me see here. But yeah, Michael, did you like profile that? Do you see like what methods are making the large volume that way? Because my volume I just set to the size of my world. And it seems to run fine. Now, I think maybe what you might be experiencing is sort pending dirty tiles, which is something I overrode and moved to the background thread. Where's my volume at? Yeah, there's my volume. So like, yeah. And then what is this? Post-process volume. And yeah, I'll need to make that volume actually larger. Because that's only like, not very tall. Okay. So I do think this is positive. And then this, we just return true here. I don't think we actually need our own chunk surface sampler context here. Although it's kind of a nice to have. In case I need it for anything else, I won't have to go through and set it back up. Data is not captured. It's not captured, my lord. means data, we just set it to equal to you have a single volume that follows the player around, it refresh the whole nav mesh on each move, but if you tile out the volumes like chunks in a 3x3 grid with you always in the middle one, then you're always shuffling the outer volumes around so they're always available and you're not ever inside. So you have multiple nav mesh volumes? And that works? Is that what I'm understanding? You're not ever inside the one that moves. I mean, I guess at that point, what's the point of the other ones? Because I'm trying to picture what you're talking about and how that would work. Because, like, I mean, you'd just be like unloading a ton of nav mesh and reloading it all the time is what it sounds like. But I guess maybe, like, I guess with what you're doing, you're not trying to have the whole world online, so maybe that doesn't matter. Let me read this game. You have a single volume false play around. With you always in the middle one. And I guess the outer ones are like pre-computing for when they get there, and then you just like unload the ones that are too far away. And that works better than just having one volume? Oh, you haven't tried it yet. Yeah, I didn't find a way to have multiple nav mesh volume. So if you find a way to do that, do tell. Okay, so we're still not getting all of our points here. I think we're skipping some on X. So we were doing indices.num, not vertices. Ah, that would explain it. Yeah, I know there's probably going to be a point that I get to where I have to roll my own nav mesh solution, which is going to be a fucking journey. What is points? What do points do? Well, point is a general term. It just means like a point in space, like a 3D point, XYZ. In this context, they are points that are sampled for PCG. They are points on the terrain that I intend to use. To spawn things. Okay, why did indices num not work? 1620. I guess I should probably check that it's valid. Because I can't increment by 3 anymore, so I have to do a little bit of... Let me make sure I'm doing this math right. Yeah, so we were doing indices.num. Oh, it's indices.num divided by 3. Yeah. Like the chunk loading, if you had a 3x3 chunks. In the middle of the top, bottom 3 there. Yeah, I mean, just why 3 though? Question. Why not just, if you can have multiple nav mesh bounds, why not just make it like calculated, not a static number, like a radius, like the same with the chunks and stuff. And then also, what happens when an agent tries to cross a nav? If you can have multiple, there's all my points. There's all my points. If you're capable of having multiple nav mesh bounds, what happens when an agent tries to cross, or can they even path find across nav mesh bounds? Can the rest of my points spawn, please? Please, sir. Are we just waiting? That's not right. I don't think so. There we go. Okay, it just took a while. It was a lot smoother though, which is more important. Okay, let me do a trace on that one now. Okay, tracey trace. Air seems to move fine from one volume to another. Wait, so you do have multiple volumes. Why? Teach me your secrets. Forbidden technique. Fixes are you working on today? Right now I'm doing some PCG, I guess optimizations. Like I'm fixing the chunk surface sampler to not run on the game thread. So it's because that's like what I don't know, if you go back and watch some of the old streams when I run around, you can tell it's all hitchy and stuff like that. And I was just getting annoyed with it when I was testing the state tree stuff yesterday, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try and knock that out. That's this bad boy here. Yeah, 50 milliseconds. Yeah, that's it's a little long. That is a little long there. But yeah, it's parallel forward now, so. And it's not running on the game thread, which is positive. It is a positive thing. But now what's the problem is the static mesh spawner instances. Now, I always wanted to add functionality to the instance static mesh to batch add instances and to have like a max number that it adds per frame or something like that, So I don't think you can add, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think you can add instances to an ISM off the game thread. And maybe when I build from source, I can fix that. We'll see. But this is committable. Let's commit this. Okay. GitHub Copilot. I don't need you to create a commit message for me. Thank you, though. Thank you. So we're going to change chunk surface sampler execute internal. We'll just say execute internal to run on background thread in parallel. And push. Commit and push. Beautiful. Beautiful. Conan, welcome. Recently moved my grass to spawn points on the GPU and improve my performance so much. Yeah, I wish I could do that too. Although I have my own, I have to do a custom surface sampler. So I wish I could just, do that. So is it using collision on the GPU? Because I haven't played around with that a whole lot. Like you're still using the collision channels to spawn it, or is it something else? I think the idea is if you only had one volume, if you're inside, you move that volume with the player, then the entire nav mesh builds every time. Well, yeah, that's definitely the worst option. But why is the multiple volumes over one volume? Because I want my nav mesh to be loaded at all times. So like, what happens to mine? I can show this. Might actually be showing. Might be able to show it right now. It's just constantly building. It's just always going to be building. Including underground too. Yeah, there's nav mesh underground. And it runs a lot slower when you have the visualization turned on. Hello, welcome. Using the voxel plugin, they also don't have it, but you can create render target with terrain height and then sample that in a custom HLSL node. No collision on the GPU, so only grass and small things. Okay, that makes sense though. If you're going to use the height map. And you might already have that. You know, you can use the, maybe you're already familiar if you're doing procedural stuff, but you can use the, what do I have? Where is it? You can use the material node, and you can just render, you can just generate the height map. Like, I generate my world map just with a, oh, that's just a texture sample, hang on. Which one is it? I have way too many. Probably just Voronoi. Yeah, so like, yeah. So this is like what just generates my world map. And then I write it to a render target. So if you're just doing a height map based thing, you can use this noise node here, write it to a render target, and then you just kind of already have that. And that's what you can sample for both, right? But maybe you're already doing that. Maybe you're already doing it. Neato. Okay, so that's running a lot better. I want to run around a little bit. Just kind of see how it feels. See how it feels. I have an eagle eye on my FPS right now. Yeah, we dropped down pretty soon. I think once we do the static mesh spawner, it should be better. Yeah, this is feeling a lot better. Not sure how your sampler's working and what you need, so it might not be applicable. Yeah, no, I have to, you know, with the, I can't just put my world map into it. Like, there's not a scalable, or scalable is the right word. There's not an effective way to pack in the underground caves into a texture, really, and then do all that on the GPU. And I already have all the data on the CPU, and so copying turns out, like, I do generate all of this data on the GPU. I guess that is a good point. I don't keep it on the GPU, but the copy to and from that happens in the render thread is pretty considerable. Pretty considerable. So yeah. Let's go into environment item spawner. Let's find the what is it now? There was a chunk surface sampler executing on the game thread. Why is that? That's not supposed to be the case. Wait, what? Why are you on the game thread? Go away. No. It only sometimes does that, huh? God, PCG, the execution stuff is so wonky. Like, it's just deciding to do that. There are 3D render targets, but never use them personally. Yeah. Or like a texture atlas or something like that, maybe is what it's. I forget what they're called, but yeah. But I mean, I do generate all of the data on the GPU, so I theoretically already have it there. So I guess I wouldn't need to actually pass it. But what I would need to do is pass all the points to and from the GPU. And copying that data from the render like hardware interface, it's pretty considerable, and you can kind of see it on here sometimes too. Like you can see it here, like this extract buffer pass right here. This is my marching cubes compute shader, like 22 milliseconds to get all that data from like these big chunky blocks. Like that's how much time it takes to get all that data from the GPU. So it's just kind of difficult at this scale. Why am I copying that? No, sir. No, sir. No whammies. Okay, ISMC add instances. Oh, that's like the old one. We're still doing like the... Yeah, add PCG. Add PCG. Man, that flatten and compress taking a long time as well. Add instances internal. Okay, so okay. ISMC, it's an environment item spawner. ISMC, my instance static mesh. Let's close all these. Environment item spawner, we'll need you as well. Main chunk probably important too. We'll pin all that. Okay. Yeah, so I want to make a little function here that does like a batch add, like a time sliced add instance. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I can't just parallel this. There is something somewhere. Well, fuck it. Let's just slap an async task on it, and I suppose it'll tell us where it hurts. Is there a way to say just like any not game thread? Just go background thread. Payload is a copy. What am I fucking doing? Reload. It's a copy. It's a point. Wait, what? Oh yeah, we pass a pointer. Oh, I think it needs to be a copy for this. Whatever. I think we may need to copy it. Okay. Okay. I think this is okay. Yeah. Let's just see what that does. We'll see where it hurts. It would be nice if that just worked. Holy hell. Let's keep looking at this. As long as I make sure nothing else is adding to it, it may work. But I'm sure there's somewhere where it's just like ensure in-game thread or something. I feel like that's the thing. There it is. Ah, it's the collision, I guess. Oh yeah, and then this CVAR that's just like manually set to it's read only. Like you literally can't change it. Janelle, welcome. Slap it with async, yeah. Okay, so it's literally just the collision. Which ISMC is this? Rock. I guess theoretically you could just not do it on or turn collision off and then add everything. But when you turn collision on, if you set collision enabled on the ISMC, I am positive that would be like a big performance hitch anyway. But I do think like a time sliced add instances would be a good thing. Okay. Okay. Stop that. So this means we'll need like a cache to maintain all of the instances that I need to add. And what is this parami boy here? Instance transform. Okay. So let's put that in there. Time slice instance transforms. Let's create a function for, and this is going to be nice. I need this also for my my voxel storage thing. Blueprint callable. Blueprint callable. Let's call this. What do we return the new added instance here? But that's like that doesn't really make sense for this. Add instances, time sliced. Got a TRA view. Oh, you can't have a TRA view. Not for blueprint callable. Okay, makes sense. instances per time slice. Yeah, how should I calculate that? I mean, I could look at this and be like, you know, how many instances is this? Or like, because there you can say like, I want it to happen across this many frames, X frames, or X seconds. Out instances ID. Not gonna happen. Or this, I think there's some way to like kind of dynamically figure it out. Let me just start like kind of speccing this out. We'll come to the order here. Oh, the T-array view I can't like, yeah, we can't edit that. We're just gonna append move temp to the instance transforms. And then I guess we need like, we need a tick here. Hello? Is there just, oh yeah, the tick component too, yeah. Is that what I have to do for a component, or is there a cleaner tick interface? And then is there some like is tick enabled? I feel like a tick is component tick enabled, and that can just like return, yeah, if it's not empty. If it's not empty, the tick is enabled. What other tick functions? Register component tick function. Oh, set component tick enabled. Do I need to do that? Set this component's tick functions to be enabled or disabled. Only has an effect if the function is registered. Why do I feel like I looked into like making a component tick and it was super annoying? I feel like maybe this isn't, let's put a log here. Where is my live template at? There it is. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna tick there. And I guess we'll do a for I where I is less than whatever the num instance is, which maybe we'll store that too. In 32, num equals, yeah, the min between the two. And then we will do add instance by, wait, do I care about, I forget, do I care about the, no, I don't care about the, just add instance, time slice, instance transforms, world space, yeah. And update, navigate. True. Just world space, okay. Yeah, so do all that. It could just be as easy as that. Could just be as easy as that. And then what would I want to do here? I don't even know what the number is. I have no idea how many this is. Let's just do like 100 per frame. 100, yeah, it already said 100. Okay, cool. We'll just try that out and see how that goes. Thinks it's already time for coffee number 2. Methinks. Oh, I don't have my fucking... Oh, I didn't have my mouse tracker turned on. God, come on, guys. Gotta help me out here on YouTube Shorts. What is happening here? Array F transform. Is it because it's const? We have Tim calling it const out. Okay, I'm gonna go make some coffee, so I'll be right back. realized while I was down there, I didn't even remove from my time slicer array. We need to do that. Does not go into work. And what's the most efficient way to do this? Does this, we can remove at swap, right? And then just like keep doing that. And remove at swap should return it now. It does not. Does remove at? Why can't I read that? Oh, that returns void too. Remove all. Oh, it's a predicate. I was hoping for like a range. Okay, so I guess what we'll have to do is, I think we just maybe move temp here as well. Move temp there, and then remove at swap. Do we do that as we iterate over it? There's probably a cleaner way to do this, right? Let's just start with the remove at swap. Even though, like, there's probably a much better way to do it, but that's like the easiest way. I hope that append preserves memory. I feel like it definitely should. Okay, let's go ahead and run this and just see what happens here. I see nothing. Oh no. Oh no, it's not ticking. Is it not ticking? Yeah, I knew it. I knew ticking was a pain. I think the better way is not modifying during iteration though. Well, this one maybe is fine, because we should never get to the end. Well, I mean, I guess if we're on the last one. Yeah, probably not the best. Probably not the best, but we're not even ticking, so it doesn't even matter at the moment. How do I make this son of a bitch tick? How do I set tick enable? Can I do it here? Set component tick enabled. True. I know there's like a super fucky way. Yeah, let's not edit it while we're iterating over it. Is there? I wish there was a remove range. B can ever tick. Does that exist on components? No, that does not exist on components. You tick in editor, allow concurrent tick. What if I just typed in tick? Concurrent tick. Can we tick this concurrently on other threads? No. Primary component tick. There we go. E can't ever tick. There we go. There we go. There it is. Well, we've done everything we can. Okay, so I want to not allocate new memory as we're iterating over this. So I want to move temp because we're going to remove those things. So we don't need them anymore. I mean, I could just like... I could do a while loop, I guess. Fucked up. And there's no like slice either. As far as I know. Rank. It's just the memory. Swap memory. Huh. So Joseph, how fast my rider is? Is it fast? How big is your project? Easily. Yeah, we'll do that. And then I guess we can iterate backward. Maybe we should just iterate backwards anyway. Yeah, we should just iterate backwards anyway. Num -1, is it? Yeah, we'll iterate backwards and then that should fix the... Been a while since I've done leak code. It's about as big as it could possibly get. What are you doing? What are you doing? Welcome in, by the way. Just remove that swap. What's the default allow shrinking? The default allow shrinking is default, if you didn't know. Allow, okay, I don't want to allow shrinking, I don't. No. I don't want to allow shrinking. I only use VS Writer for debug / launching automation tool and in Vim for actual coding, navigation, writing. You're one of them hacksters, huh? Like, how many gigs of memory does your writer take up? I'm sitting at only 3 right now, which is kind of surprising. Usually it's like 10. Your writer is taking up 128 gigs. What fucking project are you working on? What studio do you work at? I mean, maybe I should ask that. That sounds like a... What are you working on? Fucking Witcher 4? Like... Are you working on Unreal Engine? How many gigs of fucking memory does your kid? You have 256 gigs of memory on your PC. I'm an SDET. What does the T stand for? On the Lego Fortnite projects. That's fun. And it's 128. I wouldn't have expected that from Lego Fortnite. So do you write in verse then? That's cool though. Those games do look fun. I never played the Lego ones, but I have watched some streamers play it. They do look fun. As far as Fortnite things go. I think that's probably one of the nicer ones. It's the entire Fortnite project. Ah, the entire Fortnite project is 128 gigs in writer. Yikes. First party, so it's not verse. Okay. Okay, let's maybe see what this does now. Can we tick? We are ticking. Things are getting added. Eesh. My frame rate is in the dumpster, though. My frame rate is in the absolute fucking dumps. InVim is just NeoVim, right? Yeah. Jesus, what is happening? Okay, we gotta stop. We gotta stop. What is something's happening that we're not meaning? It's just, oh yeah, we're just like we're just adding more and more every frame, I feel like. Okay, yeah, see, get off the game thread. Why are you executing on the game thread? Stop that. Fucking PCG. My God, yeah. Is the remove not removing? Why? Why? Also, like, why are we only doing like one at a fucking time here? What are we doing? Question, how would someone go about making an interaction system in Unreal Engine? Like, for example, I want to use an ability component system in the character and in an actor and pawn. Are you talking about gas, like using the gameplay ability system? Or are you talking about like interactions, as in like character walks up to something in the environment and it has some interaction option that you click and then something happens, that the player presses a button and something happens? Those are two different answers, depending. Or are you saying you want to use gas for interactions? You want to use gas. Okay, so you are, I guess then another clarification question. Are you asking, how do I use gas? Or how do I make something like gas? I rewrote gas into an ECS. So mine's all like data driven at the moment. And I have like, it's very complicated with the attribute processor specifically. That's probably not what you need though. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that that's not what you need. You're not trying to run a full world simulation for tens of thousands of entities, are you? Component that attaches to an actor that then fires off gas abilities depending on whatever it is the interaction does. Yeah, I'm still a little confused on what exactly you're... Can you give me an example? Give us an example of... Yes. Oh boy. How would I use gas with data driven based on data tables or equal? Are you set on using gas? Like, is that already something that you've worked into your project? Give me an example of something that you'd want to do. Give me an example of something, and I can help you out more. We all can. F actor component tick function. Let's I'm gonna do a little scope trace here so we can see how many we're adding. Let's do a trace CPU profiler. Where's the text one? I want the text one. Scope text, there we go. Scope name. We'll do time slice instance transforms. Num. I can see how many. Okay, I'll take a stab at answering your question in a pretty generic way to maybe give you some ideas. If you want to use gas, yeah, I think just in time is kind of what I would say as well, something similar to that. But if it's going to be data driven and you want an interaction to happen in an ability, abilities can be triggered with event payloads, right? So you would want some data passed in via that. You can I forget what the function name is called, but you can send event to actor or something like that, and then in the ability you could set it to like trigger from event, and it'll have a certain tag on there or something, and then in that ability you would just do whatever the different logic is based on the different pieces of data in the data table or whatever. But if you're wanting like high cache coherency and stuff like that, that's a whole different story. But I got you there. I can answer that one really well because that's what I do. I was item with an interactable tag to get the interaction type, like pick up or use, and use that to get the right ability to use. Or on a vehicle, I want the door to highlight while the other part aren't. Well, the second part, I think that's completely outside of gas, and you would just need to do like a line trace to the things that are hit, and then like the way I handle interactions is with an interface. So maybe you want to start there. Like I have an interaction interface, and the player is doing a line trace every frame, and when they look at something that is interactable, or when they look at something that has an interaction interface, it calls the interaction interface is interactable. That way everything that's interactable can define what conditions it is interactable under. And then there are functions for like, am I being looked at? Did the character press the interact button? And then that interactable thing can define that. So for the vehicle, like you would want that interaction interface on the vehicle, and you can do whatever logic you need to, like highlighting the door or whatever they're looking at. So I think an interface may be where you want to start there for that stuff. And then I think either the interaction interface can just execute an ability, whatever ability it needs to. You just kind of write that code there, put that node there, or the base interact function, the base interact interface functionality is to look up the right ability to execute. Like that just happens automatically based on the interactable tag, which I suppose would be like an input parameter to that function for you. I hope that made sense. It all sounds like super simple gas stuff that doesn't require SQL. You could even just make use of gameplay tags pulled from whatever the line trace is. Yeah, this isn't even something that, to me, I don't use gas for my interactions or anything. Give me one moment. It's Costco day. An exciting day. Build an interaction system based on components and interface already, and I was researching on converting it to gas, but this clears it up a bit more. Yeah, I mean, what makes you want to use gas, I guess? Are you like, do you just want like the replication or something from it? I think we're like, I think we're adding way too many things here. Let me like click one of these. How many instances do we have? Oh, that's the random seed. How many instances? Doesn't it say somewhere? Instances. Oh, there's only 50. Okay, let me look at that line trace or scope trace profile trace profile. What are we doing? What are we doing? Transforms is 0. What? Why is that taking that long? Oh, it's probably the log. That doesn't help. The number is 0. And also, are you not like doing this thing? For like is tick enabled? Maybe let's not do that. Maybe we're just constantly setting it enabled or something. Hello? Ooh. Maybe a processor is better for this. Because yeah, those ticks are taking up a considerable amount of time. I didn't realize that would be so performance intensive just to fucking tick and do nothing. Okay, that does look better now. Yeah, that looks a lot better. But yeah, that's a lot of time to just do nothing. Okay, we need to change that to an ECS processor for sure. That's not going to cut it. Nope, nope, definitely nope. I thought it would help keeping the systems and stuff lightweight to add more players and items, since I have one actor that loads all item depending on ID. I like seeing liberal use of insights before it's needed. I think it's needed. Especially for what I'm trying to do here. I think developers take the don't do premature optimization. I mean, don't optimize till the very end, which is not what that is supposed to mean. That is not what that means. Never has been. It means don't optimize when you don't know that you don't need it. Don't optimize if you don't know that you need it. And how do you know if you need it? You fucking profile it. Whenever you write a system, whenever you finish writing the system, fucking profile it. I'm not even a game dev either. I'm a software engineer. Like that's always how I have understood that. Okay. Let's make a processor. Anyways, Manser. Thought it would help keeping the systems and stuff lightweight to add more players and items. Is it multiplayer then? Since I have one actor that loads all item depending on ID. Loading player, like that should be... I mean, this might be a case of premature optimization. I mean, what... what makes you think that your current system can't handle more players and items? Like an interaction system is not something that like the performance of that should not scale with the number of items or players. And if you're finding that it is, yeah, something does need to change. And maybe you don't know this, but like data tables do load everything into memory in the data tables. So if that's what you're finding, either don't load the data tables when you don't need them, and also make sure you're using like soft object paths, soft class paths, that kind of thing, which will prevent those assets from getting loaded until you need them. Big chunk of what I do on a normal basis is automating U-trace gathering. I am in complete agreement. Interesting. What automation pipelines do you guys have set up for profiling? Does it run on like commits and stuff like that? Is that what you're saying? Like whenever someone commits something, you have you kind of do like a soak test or something? Entity system, processors. Yeah, we're gonna add another processor here. We're gonna call, what is this, like time sliced ISMC. Sure. And it's funny because like this, oh, this is perfect. Oh, this is perfect. I literally have time slicing built into my processors. Why didn't I fucking think about this before? I've already built it. Oh my God. Why didn't I fucking think about this before? Look, literally, look at this. I fucking wrote the goddamn time slice code here where I can literally calculate, like I can literally set number of frames between and like, what was the other parameter? Max time between updates for a single like entity, which doesn't really apply to this because we're gonna remove them, but yeah, this is gonna be a lot more. Cool. Okay, so we need to make some data for this though. Time slice ISMC data. Wait, time slice or sliced? Well, sliced is what we call it. Also rename files, yes. No core reader. I wish I could get developers to actually profile their code. Not in game dev, but I'm absolutely mind blown by how much we compensate by just throwing more hardware at the problem instead of optimizing shit code. Yeah, there's a name for that. It's the same reason why battery life has not seemed to get that much better on phones. I forget what the term is for it, but it's like kind of like a power vacuum. And it's like whenever like batteries have gotten so much better since back in the day, but battery life isn't that much longer than it used to be. It's because with the more battery life we get, the more we just use, right? We either add more features that use it, or we write sloppier code because we can get away with it, right? So same thing there. There's an actual term for it, but I forget what it is. I only speak much to the process at my current studio for reasons, but most studios I've worked at do pre-flights and run we call them pre-submits at Google. What we call them? Pre-flights, huh? Run a stack of gameplay tests off those pre-flights. Yeah. Yes, multiplier. The first I was using an object collision for interaction system from a package called Ultimate Interaction System. Now I'm making my own with line trace. Yeah, what's collision? Yeah, that seems weird. I mean, line trace is collision based, right? But it's not. You're not doing like a full collision check there. But yeah, just using a simple line trace is usually good enough and not too difficult. My previous studio, you'd run a pre-flight, which would kick off an incremental, which ran a subset of gameplay tests. Yeah. That's, I mean, I guess I was just curious as to specifically how you stand up the game to also performance profile it. Do you stand up the whole game, or do you just like stand up the class or whatever is being tested? Bill's doing a full build nightly, which would do stuff like running a test. Yeah, I mean, this all sounds like super standard software engineering stuff. Running a test that maybe streams a bunch of the world and or equipping cosmetics while also recording a U-trace. Okay, there's the juice I was wondering. It is uploaded, parsed into a dashboard. You know, another thing I want is like uploaded into a dashboard. It would be nice if like I was thinking about a way to like, it would be nice if there was like an inline like ASCII table that had like, you know, let me see if I can generate one here real quick. Where's fucking Jippity? What's the fucking Jippity key? Generate me an ASCII text table to put in code that tracks performance or something. Wow, it's taking a lot longer than I fucking thought it would. But it would be nice to have like a little ASCII table in here that had like some, yeah, something, yeah, there you go, something like that. There you go. Something like that. Give me this. You know, put like a little comment fucking table in here. And then like this gets filled out automatically. And then that way you can look through the commits and see which one degraded performance. And so it's like the performance is tied to a certain commit. So that was my thought, like just have this inline in the code. Yeah, something, entities, sure, yeah. The entire game, typically, there's no point in doing tests isolated because players are never going to be in it. Yeah. Yeah, I guess standing up the game for a test environment is something that's pretty fuzzy in my head. Like, I have no idea how I would do it. I'm sure there's some docs somewhere when I get there. You mean as close to gameplay legal as humanly possible. Yeah. Just like in software engineering, you want to use the real thing as much as possible. No mocks. Waiting for the advice, going to sleep for work overnight. Oh boy. Wish you have a day to dive into one-on-one for advice because I want to finish my game of my dreams. Yeah, I'm always happy to answer questions. Especially specific ones like you ask. So thank you for asking a specific question. And not, how do I make a game? Which is a question I'm getting more and more annoyed at answering. Insights can output to CSV, which is typically what I see used. Does that output all of the tracks and stuff though? Or is it just like the timer counts and stuff? It's like, Gauntlet is the answer Epic provides, but I keep hoping to find a way to do it with UE automated framework-based test. Maybe I just need to learn Gauntlet. Okay, so I think back to this processor that is going to be time sliced. So I think what I want, first of all, let's add this data to my entity subsystem. Now where are T's at? E. Does S come? S comes before T. Or R. Q, R, S. No, R comes before S. Okay, so I'm thinking about making like each ISMC an entity. And then that way, let's see, how would I structure this data? Would it just be a bunch of, would it just be the T array of F transform? I need that at some point. Instances. I need some way to correlate to the ISMC. What do I want to do here? I could just put the ISMC on here, but that's lower cache locality. So no bueno. No bueno there. I guess it would be nice to have each one of these payloads be each one of these could be a batch. So each one of these could be an entity. We could create an entity specifically just to hold this data. But really what I want to do is batch it by, I guess it shouldn't, I don't want to batch it per ISMC, right? I don't want to add 100 from each ISMC each frame. That's still too much. So I do want to time slice the number of these. Each one of these could be a batch, I suppose. Or would I just have a transform? Do I just have the transform as the piece of entity data? And then we would iterate over. Yeah, I mean, if there, it's like a transform is an entity, that would be weird. We'd be creating a ton of fucking entities. Creating and destroying. Okay, let me make like a little view here. Yeah. So we want that. Time sliced ISMC data. Something like that. Or entity and... doesn't like that. Yeah, I think I would want the transform to be the entity data. And honestly, I don't think I want this added to the ISM. I don't want this added to the subsystem. It was fucking forward declared anyway. Wouldn't have worked. Yeah, I think doing a transform, God, it's like a transform per entity though. Nameless. What is this link you're posting? Yeah, links are allowed. That link seems somewhat unrelated if I'm following correctly. Time slice ISMC data. There's literally just one transform. No. Oh damn, a transform is 90 fucking 6. Oh, that's annoying. I need help. Okay, oh boy. I don't know that I can help with network stuff. Maybe someone else can. ISMC data. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna create an entity for each instance, which feels really weird. And then I do need to know the ISMC as well. So my instanced static mesh component. We can let's forward declare it. We'll do a T object pointer. I will need to know that. Let's create a constructor for it.
Hello.
Hello. Zed, welcome.
It's John C.
Welcome to my super boring stream, please don't watch.
Why are you running?
Man, good, baby.
Why are you
How was your
running?
stream?
Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse.
Oh,
Lord, jeez. Ow,
We're doing some
Ladies
some
and
fixing.
gentlemen,
jeez.
we got him.
What the
Random
dog
stuff.
doing?
Were we doing web dev today or game dev? Gotta run, stream it well, just doing some work. Okay, run away, please. Run. Do what you need to do. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. I am gonna kill myself. Yeah, don't do that. That's not good. Alright, thanks, Cindy. I'm just fixing random stuff today. I was working on some optimizations for my PCG spawning on my procedural terrain and stuff. Because it was a little hitchy, so we're multi-threading things, moving things to the background thread. Right now I'm working on batch processing ISMC instance adds. ISMC is like it's an instant static mesh component. It's an instance, it's like GPU instancing and stuff like that, so we're just doing some of that stuff. But for those who don't know, I'm MyDrunk. Hello, welcome. I'm working on what I'm referring to as an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo. Procedural terrain, destructible terrain. I will have AI generated quests as well. Here's me in the world. This is kind of a boring seed. It's super flat, but here's the world. Each one of these different colors is like a different zone or a different biome. And if you look at the top, they all have like different names and stuff like that. Those are like AI generated names. So right now they're just purely random, but eventually they will be like flavorful as to what is spawned into the zone. Like I'll end up tagging all of the stuff, like, you know, what kind of zone is it, what mobs are spawned in the zone, you know, what is the terrain like, what resources are in the zone, what points of interest are there. Pass all that into an LLM and then let the LLM name the zone. So it's like super procedural and flavorful. But this one is called Ravenloft Forest, which is actually pretty fitting, right? Like this is a forest, so that one works. We have the Bandit Camp of Blackrock right next to us. Granite Falls, Maelstrom Coast, Abyssal Trench. Like, some of these names are kind of ridiculous. Marble Caves. That could be cool. Whisper Storm Ridge. Let's find a new seed, though. Find a new seed. 795. Let's go 796. Some seeds are more exciting than others. Yeah, this is a pretty flat seed. But each of those zones we saw on the world map are outlined with mountains. And I did this because I wanted like more of like a World of Warcraft type zone and less of like a Minecraft or Valheim type zone. Because like in those games, the zones just kind of like seamlessly blend from one to another, right? There's no like borders to them. There's no entrances to a zone. If you think about like a WoW zone, they're all usually outlined by some natural border. You know, it could be a river. Most of the time it's mountains. And then there are like specific entrances and exits into the zone. And so that's what all these white dots are, right? So that's how you would get from zone to zone. Just through these little white dots. Those are like a break in the map. And I guess there is one over there. Although, oh yeah, it's right there. So if we walk over there, we should see that start to generate a little bit more. Yeah, that zone over there is a little bit more exciting because it's got some tall mountains and stuff. This is like my flat noise zone. I really only have 2 different biomes at the moment. One of them is this tree. This is like my default foresty zone. It's running a lot smoother now that it's changed. Even with the tick as it is. We have the underground caves as well, which are kind of cool. Procedurally generated as well, of course. So that's what the underground looks like. We got the noodle caves and then the cheese caves. These will be like the cheese caves here. Nice and blobular. Yeah, there's that zone entrance right there for that zone. If I were to pull this up. So yeah, this white dot here is that entrance right there. So it's a break in the mountains. And I really like that approach to like zone design, honestly. To me, it creates this like really cool sense of exploration. Clickbait title got me. Oh yeah. Get in here, Adder. Get in here. Welcome in. Yeah, I think it creates a really cool sense of exploration. Like when you're like Minecraft and Valorant, both fun games, both have great procedural generation. But you can like see the entire zone, right? You can always see the zone that you're coming up to. Whereas like in WoW, like think about playing World of Warcraft for the first time. Like when you go from Barrens to Ashenvale, like there's like one entrance, right? And you transition from this like African Sahara type zone with like giraffes and fucking kodos and hyenas and, you know, raptors, that kind of stuff. And then you transition into this like enchanted forest type zone. This magical blue and purple green enchanted forest. And it just, as you cross that threshold, it like opens up. And then you like, to me, it makes it really exciting to explore the zone when you can't see it. And you just kind of like, you know, you see these tall mountains here and you're like, ooh, what's over there kind of thing. You know? That's what I'm trying to go for. I also don't want my zones or biomes to be like static set things. Like in Minecraft, you know, the jungle biome always has the same shit in it, so it's not that exciting after a couple, you know. And they do have a ton of biomes now in Minecraft, and they're really cool, you know. But there's always the same shit. So I want to do, you know, I think all the resources will still be randomly generated. So now we're in a new zone now. We have so first of all, I'm texturing them differently, and I need to blend that still. Not the best at rendering level things. But this terrain noise is different than this terrain noise. Like this terrain noise is all just like flat. This is like I think I call it my meadows terrain noise. Is what I call it. And then over here, this is actually kind of like a really nice valley. And my arrow is not correct. Not procedural, but that's how the last Pokemon did it. You could go anywhere, but there were entrances and exits to each zone, and it followed natural and man-made paths. Yeah, so that'll be something that's a little more difficult for me to do, but I do kind of have some plans on pathing. Because in PCG, there's a new node in PCG. PCG is an Unreal Engine framework, for those who don't know. It's like how I spawn things, which is like you can have this graph node-based system where you can choose how the rules for how things spawn. It's really nice. But they have a node for pathfinding. And so what I'm thinking about doing is like doing pathfinding, and like I'll take the center of this chunk, because each pixel on here is a terrain chunk. And I'll take a center of this chunk. Remember, these are the entrances. And I'll pick like some other chunk and I'll do pathfinding, right? And I'll just kind of like pick some points. And then what I can do is I can actually like edit my terrain, and I can edit my like vertex data. And so like if I click here, yeah, that's a good example. We can like generate and show vertex data. So if I pull out here, each vertex on that chunk has like data as to what the physical material is. Is it stone? Is it dirt? Is it grass? How much stone, dirt, grass is it? That's like the shading of it, right? So brown dirt, obviously, gray stone. So I only have 3 right now, but eventually I'll have one for like paths, right? And this is all like gameplay accessible data for me. And so if you were, for the astute listeners, as I was running around on the grass and stuff, you would have heard the footstep sounds actually change. I'm running on dirt, they change to like a dirt sound. Usually this is done through physical materials in Unreal Engine, which has some limitations as to how many physical materials you can have in a single material. I have unlimited with the way that I set this up, which is really nice because it's all based on data that is like outside the material. I do feed it into the material for display purposes, but eventually what I'll do with that data is also, you know, provide some kind of walking speed or run speed bonus when you're on a path. And so like I'll add another physical material and that'll be like the path. That can be a path. And so we're talking about man-made paths from these different entrances. So I can, with that path following node in PCG, I can make a man-made path from each of these entrances and exits. And that can kind of be a part of my procedural generation, right? Like I can use that as an exclusion for the rest of the generation as well, right? Like don't spawn any trees around the path, you know, spawn some little fences and lampposts along the path, you know, put a, have a higher weighted point of interest off to the side of that path to make it like make sense, you know? So I think that'll be really cool. And a little bit more difficult than doing it handmade. Yeah, Polymetron, yeah, 100% love that kind of vibe. Love that kind of vibe. And I want to recreate it in something procedural because I haven't really seen anything do that. And I've watched a lot of talks on like Minecraft and No Man's Sky and stuff like that. And what they do is they kind of seem to have one uber noise function. That's a term coined by Sean Murray, who made No Man's Sky. He calls it uber noise. But I'm kind of doing it a little backwards. And I'm trying to do like procedural generation with more intent. Right, so if you think about like Minecraft and like think about like a village in Minecraft, none of those Minecraft villagers understand the world around them, right? And that's primarily just kind of how the game is, but it's also just because of the way it's procedurally generated, right? Like how do those villagers know that they're next to a mountain? Like what you would have to do with the way that they've done their noise is you'd have to like query the world, which would be like, one, a kind of complicated algorithm to write, and two, probably not very performance intensive. But since mine is like more rules based up front, you know, like I have all of this zone and each chunk knows what it is, right? Like this is called a Rimefrost Glade. So this, imagine Rimefrost Glade, right? That's like a snowy, icy zone, right? I don't have any points of interest, but I will. And so when colonists are spawned in here, they will understand what zone they're in. I am in Rimefrost Glade. I am in an icy zone with this terrain noise. There's a path. Here are the entrances. Here are the exits. You know, they will understand where they are in the world. So it's like, that's what I mean when I say like procedural generation with intent, right? Like I want all this stuff to have meaning and be grounded into the world. A lot of work to do there, but that's the vibe I'm going for. You know, once I start working on my WFC map, this is a dope idea. I like natural, but I also want structured biomes, like not just wildlands. It's animals and people changing their environment. Baby Fist, good morning. Ghost, welcome. Draw lines along the terrain between entrances and give them rules to avoid trees and certain degrees of steepness in the terrain, question mark. I think I would actually do it opposite that, Frantic. Like, what you would do is the path would probably be one of the first things to do. And like, yeah, maybe, I think the only thing you'd have to account for is the terrain steepness when you're making that path, maybe. But I don't think there should be things that are too steep. Well, no, there could be. There could be. But I can also, I have some ideas for like terrain carvers or like terrain editors and like terrain landmarks to kind of like, I can hand make a piece of terrain and have it get blended into the procedural terrain. I could do something like I could literally carve through a mountain with a path. So something like that. But then I wouldn't say avoid trees. The trees spawn next, right? And then the trees just get excluded by the path, right? Any trees that spawn on the path get deleted or not spawned, right? It's a lot more efficient that way. My noise with structured rules, it doesn't take as long to generate the assets and they aren't built on top of each other because they are always born at the same time. And so yeah, another thing I want to do with the world is I want a full simulation. So I want all of the world to be running. This is a very large world. I will probably need to make it smaller. It's 128 chunks by 128 chunks, which I think is 15 kilometers with what I have set up, if I did the math right. But I'm working, I've made my own ECS. I have deleted my own ECS. I'm using ENTT now. I've used mass, hated mass. But I've been making steady improvements to my entities, and I have vertex animated textures and stuff like that. So I'll be working on thousands and thousands of entities running all around the world, right? Like if you build a colony here in this zone, and you send some guys out to the forest to go chop trees, they will have to run out to those trees, even if you're not there, no matter how many colonies you have, right? If there's a bandit or a wolf in that forest, they will get attacked. They will get attacked, right? And so I'm hoping that makes the world feel very alive. And I want like NPC ran colonies as well, of course. It's all coming up in the pipeline. Right now we're just doing a little bit of optimizations here. It's a nice, let me get up on this vantage point here. I do have a building system as well. So all that wood I just got, we can like, we can build some stairs or whatever. I forget if I think I broke my wood stairs. They might be kind of weird. Building system needs wood. Oh dear. Yeah, that just built automatically. That should not have done that. Yeah. Theoretically, what you would do. Oh yeah, they're just building automatically. That should not happen. Okay, buildings are broken. Usually you have to spend time building it. Like I want construction skills. Like your colonists will have different skill sets and stuff. And you can make them construct for you. Yeah, like this zone, a lot more different than that other zone we were in where it was all just kind of flat. And this is how I'm planning to like keep everything in memory and stuff. Instant static meshes are pretty light on memory. But yeah, all of this is still like nav meshed and stuff. So all of this still has nav mesh. Super laggy to show it, but the shaded area is the nav mesh. So I've actually deleted the components and the terrain chunks. Like they're not there anymore. Just the raw data. And then I can still pathfind entities and move them around on there. In memory, right? So I'm not actually like rendering the entities or anything, but they can still run to the trees and do what they need to, right? So I can show a little bit, I show like a little stress test. I ended up rewriting gas as well into my kind of ECS system, into ENTT essentially. Let's do, how many do we have here? Do 1,000. I think, is this all in combat? Hello, sir. I said 1,000. Oh, that was num to spawn per frame. Oops. Okay, so that's like 1,000 entities all walking around. And they all have like independent logic, independent state trees, right? So it's not like doing like any sort of like sharing or anything like that. It spawns some enemies as well here. I forget if that's gonna work well or not. Yeah, but there's 1,000 entities all in combat. And so they all have like independent attributes. They all have like strength, stam, int, health. They all have food levels, sleep levels, that kind of stuff. They all have their own sets of gameplay tags, which I think I'll replace with something more lightweight. Yeah, right now they're just all doing melee, but I do have other abilities here that they can potentially use. I just haven't worked on it. I did in the past have some kind of ranger and mage archetypes. Like I can make them use the fireballs and stuff like that. Oh dear. They all like immediately spread out. Oh, they're not set to aggro on me. Interesting. So this is like, I mean, you're probably never going to have this many entities on screen at a time. for what I'm planning. So this is kind of like a worst case scenario here. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. What I was working on before Zed so rudely raided me. Thank you for that, Zed. Shout out, Zed. I was working on batch adding ISMC instances. So when my world stands up, it runs PCG, and then PCG spawns ISMCs and adds a bunch of instances. You know, this is grass, this is trees, this is rocks, all that stuff. And so that has to happen on the game thread because of collision. Collision has to get built on the game thread. So right now I'm just adding all of them at once per terrain chunk, which is a lot. So I'm trying to make a system to batch add a max number per frame across all ISMCs. And so I'm trying to work that into ENTT. I'm making a processor for that. And so I've created some entity data here called time sliced ISMC data. I have some capability to time slice built into my processors, which is nice. So I think I'm going to end up using that. And this is a fucking banger song here. This is one of my favorites. I think what I'll do here is I want to, when we add instances, go auto entity subsystem. My entity subsystem, import that. Yes, yes, yes. Ensure game thread go away, please. Okay, no longer are we going to do. What we're going to do is entity subsystem. We're going to create entity. We have a new entity here. And so for each instance, there's going to be an entity, which sounds like a lot. It does sound like a lot. Delete the tick. Delete the tick. We don't want that anymore. Goodbye, tick. You are dead to me. We don't want that. And then what we'll do, entity subsystem. Yes, that. Except we just want time slice. Yeah, import that. We do want that. Yeah, I guess I need to loop through. Oh god, this might be kind of expensive. We'll see. So we need to loop through each instance transforms. This will be a transform. We'll see. Transform. So we want to add a transform and the ISMC here. Oh, ISMC first. Apologies. We'll see how bad this is. Let's throw a scope trace on here. Trace. CPU profiler, event go. And we're gonna let the processor figure out how many instances we're adding. And this way it's across ISMCs. So even if multiple ISMCs are getting added, a ton of things, this still takes care of it. Handles that pretty well. Create a new entity, add the entity data. Okay, so then this processor is going to run. We have the ENTT entity here. Get the time slice data. That's pretty much all we need. Yeah, then we're just going to destroy the entity at the end here. Doesn't matter if we have the ISMC or there should be an ISMC. Always. Should I just... I'm going to rely on there always being. Just fucking crash if we don't have one there. ISMC data. ISMC. Add instance. And then we're going to do... ISMC data dot call that transform. Call that transform. And then make that world. Okay, that's as easy as it is here. So now what we need to do is I need to check if is in time slice for this entity. Entity ID is. Is this? I thought this was interchangeable with an int here. Oh, it needs to be int 64, right? If I'm not mistaken. No, it still doesn't work. What are you? Oh, you're an int 32. Oh, interesting. Oh, if I do int 32, do you work here? You can't. Okay, this is. What do I need to fucking do here? Hello, how to set up NVim for Unity. No idea. Don't use NVim or Unity. I would encourage you to type that into Google. I'm sure there are plenty of answers. Apparently that works, though. If we're in the right time slot, put that in there. Put that in there. And we'll just, yeah, just leave that default settings and we'll see how that goes. And then destroy the entity, which will destroy the data along with it. Yeah, I'm more so worried about this now. Oh, first of all, let's put a scope trace on this. Trace, CPU, profiler with scope. There we go. Never change YouTube comments, yeah. And I like how he worded that as a Google search too. Like he wasn't like, "Hey, do you perhaps know how to set up NeoVim for Unity?" And I'd be like, "No, I don't." Like he literally worded that. He literally worded that as a Google search. I'm not ChatGPT, okay? Quake, my dude. Welcome. Yeah. You can post ads. Continue without supporting us. Yeah, no thanks. You made such a pretty picture for me. I guess I'm still confused on how you got multiple nav mesh bands. But yeah, I get this, yeah. I mean, it's the same with a chunk generation radius. I guess I wouldn't do like a fixed length and width, right? I would have like parameters for that, right? And then it would just be distance based. I would do a distance based check. That way you could configure it, right? Without too much hassle. But yeah, that does make sense. Conceptually, it makes sense. Does it work though is the question. I notice people will do that and it's so hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, we live in an age where I should be tracing this. Well, it doesn't even work. So, it's because I didn't add the processor at all. But we live in an age where information is like literally at the tips of our fingers, and like when it's any farther than that, it's like a pain to actually figure out. Thank you. Okay. It is adding things. Feels smooth. Feels pretty smooth. Oh, look how those added. That was so satisfying. That was so satisfying. We're hitting about 100 FPS here. In editor. Yeah, now it's like my draw frame. My render thread is the worst part here. Go run back over that other scenario. Oh yeah, this is feeling nice. This is feeling nice. I did see it drop down to like 50 there. I think that's the compute shaders though. I think that's the compute shaders. It's working. It's working. We're still getting some hitches. I can feel it. Okay, that's a good little play sesh there. F11. Up. All right, let's see how that worked. I'm dead with DSA. Hope I can survive upcoming exam. Well, you should be studying and not on YouTube Shorts. I'll be honest with you. Environment iron spawner prepare data internal. Okay, so now that's running on the data internal. What made that cost so much, huh? Oh, probably the compute quirks, which I still don't understand. It's like cyclical, cirky something. This feels very nice. This feels really fucking nice. Flatten and compress. Where do I do that at? Oh, it's this. Oh, the fix up metadata. Which is just at the end of execute internal, which is doing spawning. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that's non-negligible, I would say. You know, I kind of want to see how many instances we're adding at a time here. I would like that information. Let's do one of these boys here. Underscore text is what we want. So we'll come up with an F string for scope name. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Okay, so we'll have that for next time. Oh boy. Oh boy, the time slice processor, 3 milliseconds. What is our, how are we looking here? You destroy entity. Should change that name. We're no longer queuing you destroy things. That does take a considerable amount of time. Oh, and send all end of frame updates. Man, this was a shitty frame. Flatten and compress. Show me just like a regular frame. How does this look regularly? We still fit that into 11 milliseconds, which is like 5 milliseconds scares me when I. We did make it work. Because it's like you gotta keep in mind this is gonna be happening at runtime, while all my entities are moving and grooving. Bro, attract. God, that takes 2 fucking milliseconds. What am I? Oh, I'm using that for like. Am I using that for spawn points? What am I using that for? What's going on these threads? We're not adding any instances in those threads, basically. Yeah, I am interested in how many we have on deck here too, which I don't know. I don't know if I can get a count for that. Oh, I can use like the beginning and end, right? ECG finished generating. That's a terrain chunk thing. What are we doing here? Oh, why am I copying everything? Yeah, we should not be doing it. I no fucking wonder. Oh, that has to be. Wait, was I spawning anything? Spawning should be turned off. Also, let's not copy everything. Who wrote this fucking code? On transforms copy. Do I need to get a copy of that? Can I just get transform? Yeah, okay, so that should be a bit more efficient. And 32, of course, as well. Minor optimization. And then let's in place get ref here as well. It's a slight optimization. Spawn info, empty. No, don't do that. Reset. Reset. Always reset. Spawn infos we should also reserve. I am reserving there, but we need to add spawn infos, the current num plus the new incoming number. Yeah, let's move that down. Like we may not do that. Tag data. Sure. Yeah, we want to spawn infos dot add defaulted get ref, and then that can be our spawn info. That way we don't need to move things, right? It's already in the array. Much more efficient there. Background spawn index get value. Copying here as well. Dude, what am I doing with the copies, man? This is Unreal Engine, yes. Oh, that is an int natively. Okay, I'll keep that as an int just in case that's kind of weird. Let's go ahead and rebuild that. Made some changes though. Probably commit what I have though. I do like how this is working so far. We can play around with the time slice information, but the default seems to be really nice, actually. Really nice. Yeah, destroying an entity taking 2.4 microseconds is a little concerning there. I mean, all we're doing there is just directly calling in. Interesting. If awake coffee. I am on my second cup of coffee. Welcome in, Ripper. Build comment line. Is that the make coffee function or is that the consume coffee function? Instructions unclear. I would leave a nit on that PR. Leave a comment here, please, describing what the function does. I sip from the pot personally. I usually, I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but you know those like those hats that you can wear and it has like a tube that comes down. Usually that's how I drink my coffee. And then I have 2 Erlenmeyer flasks on either side, full of the coffee. They're full of lattes, full of iced lattes. I wish PCG would. It's so satisfying how those come in. That's very nice. I do like that. I do like that. That feels so smooth now, comparatively, compared to how it was before. I'm glad I did this. Oh my god, that looks horrendous. That looks horrendous. Oh, it's all like my. Oh, it's because I'm like, yeah. It's kind of hard to see now. I should not have done that. Let's run that back. Let's get a new seed too while we're at it. 796, 797. Oh, we got a red. We got a red zone of it. You were fixing bugs and so am I. We were both doing boring stuff today, I guess. Yes. It is the life. Yeah, it is. The frame rate does drop a little bit there when we're still spawning. Yeah, that looks horrible. Bro, 35 milliseconds? What are you doing? What are you fucking doing, bro? You just had too many, I guess, in that time. Honestly, like, should I just set like a max amount on that? No frames between. I forget how I set all this up. I did it based on max time between updates, but I would kind of like the ability to have like a max num. Per frame, because that's a lot. That's a lot. It should only be at the beginning though. What are these guys here? Just fucking editor things. Okay, here's a kind of a slow frame. Execute internal. You should not. Wait, no. This is. Okay, so hang on. Why is that? Execute internal. What are you doing that is so expensive? Just this part, I suppose. Throw a trace in there. We'll see how much that's taken. Why was calculating bounds for a flower cluster taking 1.4 milliseconds? Riddle me that. Just editor things, you know, just editor things. What was going on over here? Yeah, the time slice it is. We might bump those numbers. We might bump those numbers. Let me rebuild real quick. Max time between. I might increase max time between updates. It does. I don't need that right now. It's 0.4, which is 0.4 seconds between. That's how long it has to get to every entity. Which, wait, does this work properly anymore with my new window? Yeah, the entity ID is going to be weird. Weird, very weird. Curious. Very curious. Oh, excuse me. Bless me. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to create a blueprint version of that so we can play around with the time slice parameters. New seed, of course. New seed, of course. Open up the subsystem. Let's create a time sliced ISMC processor. Replace that. Okay. Max time between updates. Let's pump that up. We'll go 2 seconds. We'll go two entire seconds. I'm aware of that. Okay, so let's see how that goes. Oh, look at them all. Look at them all. Why did that actually feel faster? 2 seconds might be too much, actually. I think we're still spawning. Okay, now I think we're good. Pop the hood. Slaps roof of Unreal Insights. This bad boy can fit so much unoptimized code in it. Used car salesman meme. This flatten and compress needs to go. We need to fucking that fucking shit figured out. It seem less spiky? Let's look at you can I copy paste? Yeah. Show me this guy. What are we working with? Max time 17 milliseconds. What was it before? Let me get the previous one. Max was 38. Kind of hard to compare because it's so different. The max did go down though. The max did get cut in half. Yeah, I'm gonna change. Let's go 1 second. We have 1 second to process all of. Dude, that is so satisfying. Seeing all the trees pop in. All the worst frames now are like GPUs or flatten and compress. Let's see what our time slice processy boy is. Okay, so average went up a little bit. I mean, I think that's fine. Max time went up by like one. I mean, this. I think 1 second is fine there. We can continue to play around with that. What did we choose? What did we choose? Q. I think this is committable though. I think this is a good point here. This is time slice process. I'll just say add ability to time slice process. I'll just say time slice, add ability to time slice add instances to ISMC. And that's just what's wonderful about that is I have a really nice blueprint callable function that I can just use to hook into that, right? So that's going to be so fucking, like, anytime I can just call from blueprints and then a process is going to pick it up and just take care of it. That's really fucking nice. If I do say so myself. Not to toot my own code. All right, let me tell you, I'm a tutor. I am a tutor. Okay, so I think, yeah, the next thing I want to check out is that flatten thingo. Let me find an instance of that. Yeah, flatten and compress. That's the next thing I want to take care of. Which is in the execute. It is in execute internal on environment item spawner. I guess that's just at the end. That's in fix up metadata, right? Yeah. Yep. Okay, so what does this do? Can I just throw this? Can I just throw this in a background thread? It does happen at the end. I'm just gonna throw this into an async task and see what. Background. What do I want here? What do I want? A background thread. Although I think this is not allowed. I think that's not allowed. Let's do it in there. Do it inside here. And then we do in tag. Yeah. Okay. That feels better. That feels better. We'll see what happens. Day's going good though. I'm happy with the progress today. Very happy with the progress. I really need to get my shipping build working though. I need to look more into that off stream. It does build. I spent a lot of time off stream getting it to build. Always a pain to get that shit working if you haven't in a while. But what happens is I spawn in and my character doesn't have any of his attributes, which are defined in blueprints, like in the editor. He doesn't have health, he doesn't have mana, he doesn't have move speed. Spawning entities doesn't work. I need to figure out, it seems like, I don't know, maybe it didn't cook properly or something. Maybe it's like too decoupled and the cooker didn't like pick it up or something. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea what that could be. My inclination is it's something to do with packaging. Need some of them CI builds? Yeah, you think in this economy? In this economy, coffee's like fucking $80 now. My avocado toast budget is through the roof. Okay, so yeah, that failed immediately. As expected. As expected. Literally just fucking get outer? Are you kidding me? Oh, this is just fucking null. The metadata is just fucking null at this point. Okay. So the in-tagged data just gets, where am I doing this at again? So this output tagged data is just gone at this point. Yeah, that does make sense, I think. That does make sense. Okay, what are we doing about this then? What happens if I don't do that? Let's see. I do see the comment I added. Something about a warning getting thrown. But I wonder if that actually has gameplay impact or not. Or if it's just a warning in PCG. Things are happening. Dare I open the output log? Dare I? So is that what I was talking about? No, what is that? We're still filtering invalid spawn points? Things are still spawning, huh? Not sure what you're using for source control, but I got some ADO pipeline scripts for oversimplified CI/CD if you ever want them. Just GitHub right now. Okay, are we done? Is everything finished? No, we're still just like... Oh, this is because it's because of navigation. Right, which navigation probably is still built. No, that should be finished now, actually. Which it might be. Okay, everything's done. Oh boy, and we just kicked off a bunch of shit, okay. Well, I don't have the output log. I mean, nothing bad happened. Nothing catastrophic happened there. So maybe I just don't fucking do that. That seems smoother. It's still spiky, but it does seem smoother. What are my spiky boys all about here? Honestly, mostly render thread shit. Honestly. Dude, there's so many Harry Potter memes I want to add to a little Steam Deck. Not a fucking, what am I talking about? Stream Deck, not Steam Deck. Yeah. Which I don't have. If I had one. Yeah, so the mesh instances data. Oh, we're spawning static meshes. Oh, that took a while. Interesting. Yeah, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Honestly, this is miles better than where we were at before. Miles better. Time slice processor. Maybe I do want to increase that time back up to like 2 seconds or something like that, because there are a lot of them. They are getting kind of chunky. Some of these are chunky. Oh yeah, that's a chunky boy. 24 milliseconds. Bro, why are you running the chunks? I think it has to run one. I think it runs one on the game thread, and then the PCG execution thing figures out how long it takes, and it's like, oh, we shouldn't run that on the game thread at all. Although I see one right as soon as I say that, I see another one right here. Another one. Although after that, let's like take a gander through. Was there any before that? I don't see any before that. Although we do have, like, what are some of these first? Have you worked in the game dev industry? Nope. Never. Never have I ever worked in the game dev industry. I'm just a software engineer. Yeah, so I don't think the first one. How are we spawning shit if we never see one? Let me find that one again. Is it right here? Here we go. Find first. Oh, you're like way over there. Okay. Can't even tell where that went. It's probably so small. Probably so small. Yeah, so I guess we're just not gonna do that anymore. I'll leave that commented out now because nothing catastrophic happened. Just leave that commented out and for me to come across at a later time when something does go catastrophically wrong. You working solo on this game? Yes, I am. Yep. Been working on it for about 3 years. Before that, I didn't know anything about game dev or Unreal Engine or C++ or anything, or procedural generation. Yeah, let's go ahead and now that we're here, well, I want to get a trace of me just like running around for a bit. Let's do that. Just run around. It does chug when the new chunks load in. I'm gonna switch my proc gen from compute shaders to the CPU. I think. The copy, like, of course the GPU is faster, but copying all that data from the GPU to the CPU is just so expensive. And you only have one thread to do that on. So yeah, I'm gonna try to use the fast noise plugin. We'll see how that goes. When I first started, I did it on the CPU, but I was just using like a super shitty Erlang function that I wrote. But I think with the SIMD processor architecture improvement of fast noise 2, I think it'll run. Okay, I ran around for a little bit, so let's see what that looks like. That is not the one I meant to. Why are you running on the game thread? Stop that. I guess PCG is just gonna fucking do that sometimes. Oh boy, yeah, we're just waiting for like rendering. Yeah, that's all rendering stuff there. Fast noise plugin works well with the dynamic mesh stuff. That's what I'm using anyway. Yeah, I use it for my vertex data. I don't use it for the terrain data, actually. But I will be making some changes for that. Load save container. Oh yeah, are we loading all? I forget if I'm loading all of the cache data or not. Add instances internal. Yeah, I should time slice those. If I... Yeah, all these little spiky boys are mostly, it's either that one thing running on the game thread that I don't want to run on the game thread, and it's just PCG is in control of that at that point. Or it's render thread stuff. Or it's fucking mass entity editor subsystem tick. Or it's editor shenanigans, you know. And once again, this thing that why would you run? Why would you run on the game thread? I really want to know what the task graph is thinking, and if there's anything I can do about telling it to not run on the game thread. Maybe when I build from source, I can start to edit that kind of shit, you know. I think 5.7 is going to be, whenever 5.7 gets stable, that's when I'll pull the trigger on that. I need that sweet, sweet voxelized foliage. Yeah, I think this is, I mean, this is so much better than, so much better. What is this one? Read point array data. The difference element thing. Okay. Yeah, we're good there though. I mean, just like, don't fix up meta. Pushes. Game thread hates to see him coming. ECG loves to run on the game thread. Yeah. I wish it would let, because like I try to do my own async stuff in my nodes and it doesn't let me because like all of the everything about like this PCG element like doesn't exist outside of the frame. And that's really annoying because then it means I'm entirely tied to the PCG graph executor. And I have to rely on that to dispatch the threads. Like you can do parallel fors in there because that'll halt the thread from continuing, whatever thread it's on. But like if I try to do an async task in here, and I should change that to parallel for, but whenever I try to, I did have this wrapped in an async, because like when you wrap a parallel for in an async task that runs on the background thread, the parallel for will not be used on the game thread. Little trick I found out. And so I was trying to do that, but none of the PCG stuff existed. It all went out of memory. So I was like, gotta rely on PCG. Yeah, maybe when I build from source, I can fix it. That's a problem we've run into as well. Let me know if you guys come up with a fix. I would like that. I would like that branch. Give me the Mortal Shell 2 UE branch. I'll be using it for vertex and also biome control, getting noise ranges from 0 to 1 to divine humidity. Yeah. Minecraft approach for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely not doing that Minecraft approach, but I do want to do some more things to consolidate my noise generation because it's kind of all over the place right now. Honestly, I was looking at my vertex data. My vertex data generation does take a long time. And I forget which part actually is taking a long time. Yeah, that's a long time. I would like to consolidate the vertex. It's like really the physical material generation. If I can consolidate that with my actual terrain generation, we'll be off to the fucking race. It just gets really complicated, especially when you have to work within the nodes of the fast noise plugin. Why am I copying height map data there? Yeah, that's fucking why. Oh, I have to make a copy. Oh yeah, because we multiply it by scale. Then pass it into there. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. That's not even the biggest part there either. Blend materials pass. Oh god. I should put scope traces on all this stuff. Yeah, oh man, I remember all this. I did so much to get this to work. I have a height bias I try to apply and stuff like that. It gets hairy, some of the shit that I had to do in here. Oh, and I'm also not, I should be sampling more noise positions than I am. I'm kind of doing it on like a not very many at a time basis. I think we end up just baking down a lot of the PCG. Yeah, I guess if you guys aren't doing procedural stuff, you don't need it to run at runtime. Use PCG as a generation tool to generate static level and stuff. That seems to be what Unreal Engine is catering to. I would like to see some more runtime capabilities baked into it. I mean, it does work for runtime, but it's just some of these little tiny things, like I'm mentioning, start to trip you up. Bit disconnected from that development right now, though. Busy with cinematics and event scripting. The final touches, though. Is there a release date? I forget. My mesh chunks are pretty low poly. I solved for frame hiccups with a custom for each loop instead of processing all the vertices and fast noise operations. The same frame, I have delta frame delay every 40 vertices. Okay, so you're kind of time slicing as well. Runtime PCG is funky. Yeah. Look at my nads. Yeah, I went down the whole PCG biome plugin path, and I did like the hierarchical partitioned generation. And my God, was that just fucking way more complicated than what I needed. Like, I should never, like, the the number of roads I've gone down where I'm like, yeah, this sucks. Mass, ECG biome, making my own ECS, gas, only to end up going down a different road and it being like infinitely easier, and I was just way more successful and fast and productive and efficient. But yeah, I just created a PCG component on each of my terrain chunks. A terrain chunk is an actor that has a dynamic mesh component and a PCG component. And then it has a bunch of instant static mesh components. And so each terrain chunk knows what biome it is based off that world map that I show. And it can just get all the information from that. And then it just kind of, it can feed that, it can just run the right, piece. Like each of these colors is a different PCG graph. Kind of, there's a biome definition, and it's just way easier. Way fucking easier that way. Runs way better. Literally, it's just generate on demand instead of the runtime partition hierarchical thing. Yeah, way easier. Way fucking easier. We don't have a release date publicly listed yet, other than 2026, but we're staring down Gold Master right now, for what it's worth. What the fuck does that mean? Is that a colloquial I've not heard before? Chunks loads slower overall this way, but the frame rate completely stabilizes. Yeah. I get what you mean. I'm currently trying to get mass traffic plus PCG to generate runtime, and it really is a tricky fight. Yeah, I mean, with mass especially, let's do a new seed. I'm gonna get a new seed here. With mass in particular, like getting that to do things that it was not built for. Dude, it was like fighting me at every turn. Because like all they had was zone graph navigation, and I needed like nav mesh navigation. I think they have that built in now, or at least it's experimental. But like trying to get that working was like, oh my god, so painful. Like the whole traits and fragments thing, how they're all like there's like a dependency hierarchy of traits and fragments. And like some traits include fragments that others also include, so you can't use them and you had to like validate it. I was like, oh my god, man. Like if the docs did not tell me explicitly which traits to add or remove, like that would have been, I wouldn't have even got it working probably. Gold Master means core game done. Used to be used as a term for this is what goes on disc that players buy. Interesting. Yeah, that's some old guard type shit right there. These days with virtual marketplaces, no disc updates being a norm, it really just means functionally complete but not 100% polished. Gotcha. That's exciting though, man. I'm excited for you. Are you like, are you excited or are you burnt out right now? What are you feeling? Walk us through it. And how does that make you feel? Also, you got any tips for getting an artist's attention? Asking for a friend. His art station says open to work, but he has not responded to any of my emails. Oh, we're in a fucking cave. Holy shit, we're deep in here. Holy fucking shit, we're deep. Still spawning shit too. I'm really interested in that RTX GI. I'm really interested in that NVIDIA branch of Unreal Engine. What I read was RTX GI only works on 5.3. They haven't updated it because like the render pipeline changed after that. But I think that NVIDIA branch of UE is on the latest. So I want to check that out at some point. It'd be nice to not have to use Lumen, but still get Lumen quality, you know. RTX GI is all right. It's super noisy. Yeah, because I was reading that's what Arc Raiders used. God did a tech demo with it in their engine. I'm tired. 3 years on a project operating 110% the whole time means I'm ready for a good long break. Yeah. 3 years of crunch, it sounds like. See, that's why I don't want to work in the games industry. I don't want that. I don't want that. No, they did not know that. That's what I was reading in a Reddit thread. So it is Reddit. Take it with a grain of salt. But they don't use Lumen or Nanite because everyone was talking about the performance of Arc Raiders and how it's the new standard for Unreal Engine 5 games. Oh, I'm inside. I'm. Oh my God! I had no idea I could chop these. Wait, what? What, sir? Also, that material is crazy. What the fuck? I accidentally made these choppable. Yo, that's crazy. What, dude? That's fucking wild. I didn't even mean to do that. It just works. I'm Bethesda. It just works. Bro, what? And also, why are these materials world position offsetted? That's fucking sick, dude. That's fucking sick. That's so wild to look at. There's always moss on the upside. That's cool, though. I didn't even mean to fucking do that. I live for it, though. Not complaining, just need a nap. I came off 4 years of Redfall right into, we need to knock this new project out of the park to save the company. Oh, damn. I didn't know that was the fucking vibe. Mortal Shell 2 looks fucking sick, though. I didn't play the first one, not a huge Souls guy, but the second one looks so cool. I'm gonna have to, especially now that, you know, I know you worked on it. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm doing my part. Was the first not so successful then? Or it was just barely successful enough? Dude, game dev is fucking hard, man. Another reason, like, I also don't want, like, people's jobs on me, you know? That feels bad. I can't handle that kind of fucking stress, you know? I'd rather just have like a pretty small, lean team and we just kind of push things out as we need to. Have as little fat as possible. You know, like one person for each department, you know what I mean? And then I'll just fill in the gaps where necessary. If I were to start a studio, that's probably how I'd, you know, contract if you need to. Like, I want one art person, one sound person, one animator. I'll be the fucking programmer. Although it would be nice to get a second programmer. That could be, I could do like terrain and stuff, and I could either do engine stuff or gameplay stuff, right? Kind of two different sides. Let's just say that MS2 was not the primary project at first. Oh, interesting. MS1 did incredible, rolled the team into an awesome next project that didn't pan out for reasons, and MS2 was born out of the fire. Was this a new IP, or like, yeah, a new project, I guess? Man, I'm sure you have an excellent sense of project management, you know? Like, you have been, the number of post-mortems you've probably been a part of. Because you said, I think you worked at Arkham Studios, right? That's in Texas, I believe. I'm really just procrastinating going to work. $16 AAA postmortems now. Jesus Christ. That's more than I've been a part of. And that just in general for software engineering. Yeah, senior post-mortem manager adder reporting for duty, sir. Senior principal post-mortem person. Let's spawn entities. Let's on our next seed. Let's turn on entities. We'll see how that goes. On mobs. Where's my world map? New seed. 805. Bro's been in more than all of us combined. Yeah, for sure. Adder's been doing it for a minute. Arcane, Bethesda for a few years, COD for a few releases, then was Activation Blizzard, Central Tech, Engine plus Tech Artist, then Avalanche. What is Avalanche Studios? Some others in there, and then Cold Symmetry. Cold Symmetry. I'm not familiar with the last two. What games did they do? Where are my entities? Oh, there they go. There's some. There we go. They're popping up. I do like that I turned on drawing the entity grid here so I can know. I know where the entities are. They're all fighting. Yeah, I forgot I did like a radius around the player spawn where they don't spawn. So the player's not getting like fucking attacked immediately. Come here, you. Oh, wow. Oh, the bow is not working. The bow is not working. Oh, oh, they did the Just Cause games. And Rage, okay. And then recently canceled Contraband. I was on Proto Team. Cold Symmetry's current, that's Motor. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't, I guess I didn't know the studio name. They were AA indie studio making a AAA quality game. Yeah. Mortal Shell did look good, and Mortal Shell 2 looks amazing. Just Cause, Rage, Contrab was Avalanche. I worked out at the NYC office and then a little out of Stockholm for a minute. Oh, you worked in Stockholm. That's a big move. Okay, we're kind of slow at the moment. What's running? I think we just have a ton of entities spawned at the moment. Oh yeah, we got over 1,000 and counting. Pathfinding, yeah, we need to parallel process that for sure. Using physical materials to drive any of the PCG spawning, or just vertex colors? Just vertex colors. Really, it's not even vertex colors. The chunk surface sampler node that I wrote actually it creates an attribute and directly samples the vertex data. Where is that? Right here. So it's not even vertex colors, although I do use vertex colors for the rendering, but not for driving PCG. But every point in PCG has an attribute on it as to what vertex color is underneath it. That's how I am able to exclude the dirt here for grass and stuff. That's how I spawn stuff underground. I have the normals, so I put roots when it's dirt and underground, you know. I don't put any roots there when it's stone. That kind of stuff. Stockholm was amazing. Would have moved there if it made sense. Tried moving there to work on Minecraft with Mojang as well, but I could never justify the huge pay cut, insane cost of living. Oh, is it expensive over there? I guess that makes sense. Did you work on Minecraft or you just had an offer? You know, I sent them my resume for Minecraft and I got crickets. Although maybe I could convince them now with this project, but yeah, I'm not interested. You know, working in Google Ads is much more lucrative. Turns out, much more lucrative than game development. Speaking of, I gotta go to work now. I'm gonna have to work late if I don't get going now. Let me see who's online. Let me see who's doing what. Lucklin, is he actually on? Because I know he does the rerun. I can't tell. I think he's actually on. I'll send you guys over to Lucklin. I contributed some content very early in development of Minecraft. Got an offer to be employee number 3. What? So it was fucking Notch, that Jed guy, and then fucking you? That's nuts, dude. That is fucking nuts. How long ago was that? That had to have been like 15 fucking years ago. Bro, the resume on this lad here. My goodness. That's fucking nuts. Finally got that working myself. I really wanted physical materials to work with dynamic meshes to drive the PCG using material node. It just doesn't work though. Yeah, there's also limitations. There's also limitations to physical materials. I went down that path too. I was also 18 years old. Bro, how did that happen? You'll have to tell me later. I gotta hop off, but you'll have to tell me that story later. That's insane. Bro, the fucking stock you would have now. The RSUs. Oh. Yeah, I gotta hop off though, guys. I'm gonna send you guys over to Lucklin. He's working on a pretty cool game that's a lot more closer to getting finished than mine. It looks wonderful. So tell him I said hello. Take care, guys. Brutal. Have a good one.